is the Schmo with the pro with the number 4 UFC Lightweight 22-6 Iron Michael Chandler here at Sanford MMA, the final week before you head to New York for UFC 268. How we doing?
Doing good, man. Just got a little workout in, little work on the bike after. So we're just landing the plane now. You know, been in camp now for 8 weeks, 9 weeks. So now it's just smooth sailing, get the weight in and weight cut in, and then make it to that fight.
All the hard competitive juices have been laid on the mat here at Sanford MMA, man. You've known about this fight for a long time. You've been signed to the UFC for a little over a year. You've always known that you would eventually fight Justin Gaethje, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was the name, one of the names that was on the top of the list. Obviously, anybody that was inside the top 5, Poirier, Ferguson, Gaethje, you know, those were the guys. Obviously, Khabib was the champion. So those are the guys, and Justin, I think, is the scariest, the most dynamic, the most entertaining of them all. I think I bring a lot of entertainment to the octagon. I've only been in it, you know, twice now, but I think the fans have seen my fight style is all gas, no breaks, making some entertaining decisions in there. So Justin's going to bring it, I'm going to bring it, and November 6th we see who's the most violent man.
You have never lost an MMA fight where...
This is the Schmo, rocking the most comfortable underwear in the world sheath. Look at these patterns, the red and blue. The Schmo can rock this all day long at the gym. The Schmo can run freely like Usain Bolt, going maximum speed. The dual pouch protection. Iconic, keeping the balls and the shaft separated. Maximum comfort, maximum support, maximum performance. Carrying out some heavy weights, touching bars, running up the walls, it doesn't matter because the Schmo is rocking his sheath underwear. Use the promo code SCHMO, SCHMO, at checkout to get 20% off. Let's go!
No title on the line for this fight. You've never lost a fight like that. Does that give you extra confidence going to Madison Square Garden?
That was actually a stat that I had no idea it was even a stat. I have been in a lot of title fights. You know, albeit people will say it was outside the UFC, so it's title fights that were not as legitimate as the UFC. I get that. I respect that sentiment. But you're still training for 5 rounds. You're training for those championship rounds. You're training to go places that, you know, quite frankly, 80 to 90% of fighters never even get to. If you don't fight for a title, you're never training for 5 rounds. It's a different beast, it's a different animal, and going through those scenarios turn you into a different kind of fighter. So I believe I'm the guy who can go out there and push the pace for 15 minutes. As I said, that was a excuse me. As I said, that was a stat that I, you know, wasn't aware of, but you know, if we're undefeated in non-title fights, we might as well go ahead and win on November 6th.
There it is. A few weeks ago, the Schmo caught up with your opponent, Justin Gaethje. This is what he told the Schmo. He anticipates that when he feels his power, he being you, that you're going to shoot for his legs, man. You both had the wrestling backgrounds. When you hear that, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm not really worried about it. I mean, quite frankly, I don't know whether I will shoot for the legs or not because, you know, when you're just in the moment, when you're fighting, when you're training, when you're in here training, you're just going off of instinct. You know, you train so hard, you train so many reps, so many hours, so many different techniques that you have to, you know, put your 10,000 hours in for those techniques and those scenarios, those decisions to be innate, to be ingrained inside your DNA. So I think I am a complete mixed martial artist. I think I have the power to knock Justin Gaethje out. I think I have the ability to mix it up to be able to keep him on his toes or keep him on his heels, rather. If I want to take the fight to the ground, I believe I'll be able to take it to the ground. I can keep it there and I can finish him there. So we'll see. This is just the confidence I have in all these different positions. And, you know, either way, I'm excited to compete against him.
Not that you've been paying much attention to this, but what does Dan Hooker have to do against Islam Makhachev to get his hand raised at UFC 267 in Abu Dhabi?
Man, I think Dan Hooker is one of the toughest guys in the division, one of the toughest chins in the division, and I think, you know, this is a fight game in which we fight in 4-ounce gloves, man. You can get caught on the chin by anybody on any night, and it's over. So the fact that I was able to finish him in the first, you know, 2.5 minutes is not indicative of him, you know, not having a great chin, not being able to push the pace. He's extremely long. He's extremely versatile. He uses that length. I think Makhachev's going to have a tough time getting in and closing the distance on Dan Hooker. Even if he does get him on the cage, I think Dan Hooker's cage defense, as we saw in the Poirier fight, as we saw in his last fight, both offense and defense off of the cage control, is really he's really skilled there. So I do think I think Dan Hooker wins that fight. I do. I think Makhachev fought number 14. He was number 9. He fought number 14, beat number 14, and somehow ended up at number 5 without having to fight anybody in that upper echelon of the top 10. But Makhachev is definitely a future of the lightweight division. He is good. He is skilled. He does have the entire country on his back. So he's fighting for more than just himself. So we'll see how the fight plays out. I think Hooker wins the decision.
Happy belated Hap Day, by the way. The Schmo's one day late for that.
Yeah, Hap Day was yesterday, man. So 4 years ago, my son Hap became the greatest gift on the entire planet to myself and my wife Bree. So, man, life has changed, and I definitely have my why, and my why is a lot more solidified these days. So it's life is good, and happy Hap Day to Hap.
Can we get a final message for all the Iron Michael Chandler fans as he gets ready for UFC 268 in the Mecca, Madison Square Garden, New York?
Man, I just think this fight doesn't even need to be advertised. This fight doesn't even need to be promoted. Justin Gaethje, consummate professional, consummate warrior, always coming forward, never takes a backward step, always in entertaining fights. Michael Chandler, the exact same fighter, the exact same cloth that we were both cut from. November 6th, I think we're the people's main event. You got the women's title fight as the co-main event, Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington as the main event, but this is the people's main event. This is the one that people are definitely going to be just as excited about as a feature fight on the card.
He's the pro, I'm the Schmo in Sanford MMA. We are out.